Hey, YTPC New Jersey Piper Ben here. Gonna do a first impression video today for Captain Earle's 10 Russians. Well, this is actually a blended by Cornell and Deal. And it's a full-bodied English blend. And apparently it is a go-to for the Latakia lover. And this one actually sits at 3.4 out of 4 stars on tobaccoreviews.com. And the lead review kind of caught my eye. Guy prefaced his review saying I'm 6'4" and 220, and went on to talk about how he packed this tobacco in one of his largest pipes and smoked a bowl of it, and it pretty much knocked him on his ass. And once he figured out how to better manage it, he actually ended up loving it, but kind of cracked me up a little bit. I finally picked me up a little leather tobacco tray here from an Etsy company, shipped out of Phoenix, I believe, and they had various stampings you could get, but I picked the compass. That was my favorite design of the ones offered. And this is, pretty raw at the moment. I'm sure it'll gather a lot of color over time. But I've been meaning to pick up one of those, and I kind of dug this one. It's pretty good. It's like about 1/8 of an inch thick, so it's pretty good quality. Nice and pliable. Yep. So let's get this tin opened up. Okay, so this is billed as a crumble cake. Sorry, let me get you guys some more light here real quick. So this is billed as a crumble cake, but a pretty thick little brownie going on here. Let's see if it breaks apart pretty easily. Okay, yeah, not really a plug or anything, so you could just kind of easily pull off a little bit, and it just breaks right up pretty easily, as you can see there. So that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry out for a little bit, and I'll be right back with the smoke. Hey, sorry about that. Quickly, I forgot to do a tin note. One of the more important things you're supposed to do when you try a new tobacco. So I got the plug and the bits back in the tin here, so I'm just gonna give that a quick whiff. Okay, that's interesting, because I obviously have plenty of Latakia heavy blends. Yeah, so, and that aroma is definitely there. That smokiness, but this stuff has an edge to it that's quite interesting. I don't know how to put my finger on it. I'm picking up possibly licorice, like black licorice, with a hint of barbecue behind it. Yeah, it's weird. It's got some kind of something definitely unique about it compared to most of the other Latakia heavy blends that I take a whiff of. Not sure what's going on there. I'll see if I can delve into that more as I'm smoking it, and see if that scent's coming through in the flavor profile at all. All right. Got my Blakemar Briar's pot loaded up with 10 Russians. And that crumble cake was pretty dry. So I just broke it up and let it sit there for maybe 5-10 minutes the most. Sorry, trying to avoid some wind. Forgive me if I scratched my mic a lot just then. And got a lot of interference. Yeah, that's a bold English blend, that's for sure. The retro is pretty smooth though, not peppery or spicy at all. It's actually a pretty effortless retro compared to some vapors and spicier blends that I've tried before. Obviously, most recently the Smoking Pipe's 20th anniversary Dark Flake. The retro on that stuff was pretty pretty brutal. So yeah, the sort of the cliff notes on this one was for the Latakia lover. Bold, strong English blend, and potentially a bit of a nicotine bomb. And I think I'm just really getting to that point after trying, blends that were billed that way. $17.92 flake, this stuff, Peterson's Irish flake. I mean, to be fair, I don't film myself getting up out of this chair. But I promise you I've never fallen down my steps before. Now, I have taken a split second to gather my balance and, make sure that I've got a nice wide stance before I start, moving this chair around and picking up all my stuff. But I've never really been thrown for a loop by a tobacco before. Like this guy, again, this review I'm referring to, or the big guy, the 6'4", 220 guy. Like, he gets home, he doesn't even know how he got home. He was out hiking or something. He had to lay on the couch and put a wet rag on his head and eat a bagel. I'm just like, damn, dude. And I'm definitely not equating, like, nicotine resistance with manliness or anything like that. I'm just saying, I guess it just maybe each person has sort of different physiologies that maybe it's just especially hard on some people and not on others. I don't know. But even when I was a cigarette smoker, I could smoke a cigarette first thing in the morning on the way to class or on the way to work, and without having any breakfast or anything, and I could feel it a little bit, but I was never like, loopy or, head swollen or anything or nauseous or anything because of it. So, maybe it's just that, I guess. I never really thought of it as something that would sort of have that big of an effect on you, because I've just never really experienced it before. But this is fine. I appreciate the bold flavor. And that nice smokiness a lot of Kia brings to the picture. But I get, absolutely no sweetness or anything like that. So nothing that I'm not really getting much from the Virginias, I guess is what I'm saying. And I mentioned on the tin note that sort of perplexing aroma of potentially like a licorice-y type of thing going on. And I caught a hint of that on the retro just now. It's hard to describe. But almost like something with a sweet component to it, but not primarily sweet. And that sweetness is not attached to any, produce. It's not a dark fruit thing. It's not a figgy, plummy sort of thing that you get commonly with darker flakes and perique type stuff. It's weird. I don't know. So, in the English family, of which I have many, I'm not seeing this like overtaking anything like Standard Mixture or Nightcap or Quiet Nights or any of those types of blends. This is more, kind of reminds me a little bit more of that Meridian sort of Gaslight bend. Or there's not a lot too mellow going on there. And definitely more Gaslight on that side. But again, with kind of including Meridian in that, with the utter lack of sweetness. And I'm thinking about something like a Maltese Falcon, which I haven't had in a while, but I've tried a lot of English blends, and this one is fine, but it's not hitting me in a way that makes me think I'm gonna want this soon again. Sorry, this is going to be a little bit of a longer one. Congratulations if you made it this far. But in fairness, I probably should have gotten about halfway through this bowl before I hit record again. But, you know, mechanical pluses, it burns really nicely. I haven't had to relight it at all since the True Light, just some, you know, strategic tamping and get some nice white ash. So it's a good burner, and makes sense because the crumble cake broke into very fine, ribbony, broken up pieces, so. It makes sense that it would burn nicely. And again, it was definitely nice and dry. It's always fun when people are going 40 down a 25 mile per hour street. They're not my kids. Fucking assholes. You guys have had a good weekend. It's COVID-19 thing is just utterly ridiculous. I'm glad I have toilet paper. I already had toilet paper already. You know, and you know, decent bit of food lying around in general, but I haven't stopped eating at restaurants or anything. You know, I've gotten some takeout and stuff like that. But yeah, gotta work from. I don't have to, but I'm going to work from home tomorrow because I refinanced my mortgage, and I'm meeting the closing agent at a Starbucks in town, and going to do that tomorrow morning. And then I don't know, I might go into the office. I've got some samples at my desk I need to look at some point. But yeah, it was really weird Friday because I think most people work from home Friday. That's what it felt like anyway. And then there didn't seem like there was a whole lot of work getting done. Okie dokie, guys. Again, hope you've had a fantastic weekend. I'm stealing Mel's line, but truly, y'all stay safe out there. It's an incredibly appropriate line. Nowadays, I don't want to steal his sign off, but just I genuinely mean that. You know, be careful out there, and just don't fall into the sort of hive mentality, I guess. Try to keep your wits about you. All right, guys.